And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com. As always, visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get yourself down to Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15%. Get your chicken tenders. Get your chicken dunkers. Get yourself some good old-fashioned fried chicken, some fries, some coleslaw, all that good stuff. And like I said, tell them to pump it up, save yourself 15%. Or go to the app, and they will deliver right to your front door, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop. All right, Aaron. It's been a couple days. I've had some family stuff going on. Making her Nightcap debut, my new friend Callie Brendel.
I can't believe we have dogs named the same name.
I wouldn't have named her that if I'd have known. Yours already has that name, but it's too late now. All right, I'll let you down.
Where we are.
I'll let you down. The synergy of it is all just,
silly.
Well, Callie, they're very close. And then where's the last major vacation we had? We went to California. Yeah. So Callie works.
Ours was just named that when we adopted it.
Yeah. So there you go. That's what I've been doing today. But so DraftKings came out with their over-under projections for the Big 12 on Friday. We haven't had a show since. So let's discuss, my friend. Over-under for the Cincinnati Bearcats set for the 2023 season at 4.5.
Yeah, that's what they said.
That's what they said. Look, here's the thing that I think is going to be as interesting as anything going through this season. Outside of Eastern Kentucky and Miami, which I think UC will be considerable favorites, I would guess Oklahoma is probably a fairly heavy favorite coming into Nipper Stadium. I think the preseason, they're like 14th, something like that. I would guess they would be a touchdown or so favorite. I think almost all of the other games are going to be of the coin flip variety, where Cincinnati has somewhere between a 40-45% and 55-60% chance of winning. Well, I don't think there are going to be many games where Cincinnati's an 80% chance to win. I don't think there are going to be many games where the opponent is an 80% chance to win. Like this season is going to be very interesting.
Here's my take anyway, is the fact that I don't think we're going to know who this team is, what this team is, until after the Oklahoma game. Like, I think
Pittsburgh will be a pretty good barometer. Pitt's been pretty good. Like they haven't been great, but they've been solid.
I don't disagree. It's just I don't know that you're going to have this team meshing.
Game.
Yeah. I don't think this team's going to be on the same page in week 2 that they're going to be after week 4, come win or lose in either of those big games.
I mean, I think that's fair. You want to go through it and discuss?
Sure. That's why I pulled the schedule up.
Here's the other thing I would say. Remember, in following 2 of the past 3 coaching changes prior to the Luke Fickell-Scott Satterfield transition, Butch Jones, 4-8 in his first season. Tommy Tuberville, 9 wins in his first season. I think 9-4 was that record.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
And then Luke Fickell, 4-8. Sorry, it's been a long weekend. 4-8 in his first season, and they probably should have only won 1 game that year. I mean, they were bad. Yeah. So this is not crazy. I mean, I think a good season is 6-7 wins, right?
This year,
I don't think there are many projections that say 8-10 wins for this Cincinnati team.
And I'll even say I don't know that it's a good season. I think that you're happy with Cincinnati finishing with 7 wins. I think that's the difference. I don't think anybody's going to call it a good season. I think it's just going to be they exceeded expectations.
Right.
Or even met expectations. I would say 7 wins
met expectations.
Like
I think 7 and 5 would be like, okay, that's a good first year for the Satterfield era.
Okay.
First year in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Bowl eligible, above 500. Like, I think that's a good start. But, Aaron, there are going to be a lot of coin flip games. Like, let's go through it. Eastern, they'll be heavy favorite to win.
Yes.
I'd say Pitt will be favored in week 2, but it'll be close.
Since they're at home.
Pretty close.
Since they're at home, I'm going to say that it's probably going to be, I would think.
4.5.
4, yeah.
Miami, Cincinnati will be favored. It's at Nippert Stadium. They have Miami's number. Miami's not very good. Oklahoma, like I said, Oklahoma will probably be a 7, 8, 9-point favorite, somewhere in there.
Sure.
BYU was bad last year, but that's a game in Provo, short week. So you're turning around Saturday to Friday. You got to get out there, adjust to the altitude. That's going to be a coin flip, if not,
after a big game against Oklahoma. Who knows?
Oklahoma, yeah.
Who knows how beat up you are after that game against Oklahoma?
Right. Bye week after BYU, and then Iowa State and Nippert Stadium. Depending on what happens in the first 5 weeks, you would think Cincinnati will be favored in that at home. Baylor at Nippert. Baylor will probably be favored, but it depends on how Baylor bounces back from a rough year last year. Oklahoma State and Stillwater, I don't know what my read on Oklahoma State is. There's some issues there. Like things are not hunky-dory in Stillwater right now.
So the water's not so still.
But it's a little choppy. It's a little choppy, the water in Stillwater. But you have Oklahoma State will be favored in that game.
Yes.
UCF at Nippert, coin flip. They're in year 3 of their new coaching regime. Cincinnati's in year 1. That's going to be a tough one. Another coin flip, I think. Houston at Houston. I don't know yet. Where are things going to be with Dana November 11th if things don't get off to a good start in the Big 12 for Houston?
That's a good question.
Like, that could be a real interesting scenario, November 11th at Houston, as to where those things are at there. And then West Virginia in Morgantown. West Virginia will be favored, but it's going to be, probably I would guess, close to a toss-up, another
I think so too.
1-score point spread. And then I think Cincinnati will be favored over Kansas, but another 1-score point spread in that game. Like, if you go through, I don't feel confident saying pretty much any wins or losses other than Miami and Eastern, right? Do you?
Not right off the rip, no. Not
until
with
we
confidence.
know more about this team and what it looks like and whatever.
Correct.
I guess that
you have to. The dust has to settle from the transfer portal, right? There's still offers being made, and we don't know who's coming in. This weekend there was a defensive back who committed. There was a linebacker offered and was in for a visit. There's still dust settling. I don't know what this team's going to look like. I don't know what the receiving core is going to look like. We don't know if they're going to adding offensive line at this point in the game is a tough sled.
Right.
And at this point, if you're getting anybody on the offensive line, who knows what that even looks like, because nobody really good is going anywhere.
Right. So that's the why, so somebody said this, I think, on the boards. 4.5, you feel pretty good that they're going to hit the over, but let's be honest. If somebody set the over, if it was at 5.5 instead, how comfortable are you betting that over?
Well, you have to think there's maybe 4 or 5 coin flips right now that by our estimation.
I think there's 7 or 8 coin flips.
Okay. Well, if you're flipping coins, you're probably going to get 3 of those 8.
You hope
with I would think with pretty good confidence, unless you go on a streak of heads or tails. I mean, you're figuring you're probably going to get 3. So I would like to.
You add the 2 wins that
Right.
you think you're going to get at the beginning of the season, you get to 5. But again, like I said, if it was 5.5 and you're betting on them getting to 6,
Well,
you're not super confident in that.
At the end of the day, even if you're not looking at coin flips, if you're looking at over-unders, I would think that Cincinnati is not going to be favored in many of these games at all outside of those 2. Even if you're just looking at it as coin flips.
I think they'll be favored Kansas at home. I think they'll be favored Iowa State at home.
Kansas was good last year for a minute.
Yeah, but once their quarterback went down, they were in trouble. I wouldn't be shocked if they were favored, a slight favorite at BYU. I also wouldn't be shocked if BYU was the favorite there by 3.5 or whatever. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of games that you look at and say, oh, yeah, Cincinnati's going to be favored by a touchdown in that one.
No, I wouldn't. If they're favored by a touchdown in any game outside of Miami or Eastern Kentucky, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
Something went really right.
Right. Like things are humming.
Or really wrong for the other team.
For the opponent. Yeah, really wrong for the opponent. Are you comfortable putting a decent sum of money on 4.5? On taking the over at 4.5? I'm not.
What are the odds at 4.5?
I didn't see the odds. I just saw.
I guess
under a 4.5.
I guess that's where I'm curious. I mean, if it's just paying a more or less a 1-to-1, I don't know that I'm putting a hefty amount on anything right now because it's super early. We don't know what this team looks like, and it's just betting to bet. I mean, you're making an investment with that money because you're not going to see. If you do win, you're not going to see that money for 7 months.
Yeah. It's not like 2021 where like it was like, okay, I'm going to bet them to go 12-0 and make the playoff or whatever.
Right.
That was at that point, that was a fair.
That was a sound investment. Right. Correct.
This,
it's throwing darts.
I would be shocked if they win more than 7.
I think we all would be shocked.
I think 7 is the ceiling.
Yeah, if you win 8, 9, 10, you're playing with house money. My goodness.
Yeah. People are feeling great if they've got 8 wins, to end the regular season.
Emory Jones made his weight in gold people are calling for the statue to replace the Bearcat that is gone until 2025.
Yeah. I don't feel comfortable betting the under either. I just don't. I don't know. It's not like this team is going to be terrible, and I'm putting everything I have on them only winning 4 games.
Because we feel good about the defense, but how much do we really know about this team offensively, which is where you have to score points, unless you're Iowa. And I don't think this team is Iowa.
No, I don't think they're going to have a top 4 defense.
Correct. We think this defense is going to be good, but it's not going to be good enough that you can score 7-10 points in a game and win.
Right. You're still going to need to be 24, 27, whatever, something along those lines.
35.
Well, I mean, that's,
Looking at you, Oklahoma.
I don't know that there's going to be a lot of teams that score 35 on this defense, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything else to add?
No, I mean,
week. We'll see.
I don't know. I would, at this point, until I see some of the dust settle, until I see some of the reports coming out from even Camp Higher Ground, I wouldn't feel comfortable right now betting my money one way or the other on 4.5 with this team.
Right. So
I think I'd feel the same way if they had set it at 5.5.
I'd feel a lot better about taking the under if they had set it at 5.5.
Oh.
Because I think ultimately it ends somewhere between 5 and 7.
They know as much about this team as we do.
Right.
Nobody knows anything.
Right. You right. right. You got anything else?
Get us out of here.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow night, BBP and the Nightcap. This is the Galactic Fried Chicken Nightcap right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!